You know, I haven't used a G5 IV for absolutely donkey's years, but certainly seems to be doing a good job there. Well, I don't know what the weather's like with you. I believe it's quite cold over in the States at the moment. It's certainly not cold here, although it's very wet. Thankfully, the last couple of days we haven't really had any wind. It's been horrendously windy, hence the antennas have all got to be wound right down. So I'm using my antenna almost at its lowest point, which is about sort of probably between 25 and 30 feet, I would say. It's wound up a little bit, but hardly anything. You can just about see the antenna from the street, which means it's hardly down because when I've got the tower wound right up, it's way above my house, but it's just visible above the roof. But it seems to be working extremely well, and I'm quite happy with it. Back to you there, Alan. KB3OVB from G0VQY.
Very good. Golf Zero, Victor Queen Yankee, Kilo Bravo 3 Oscar, Victor Bravo, right back here, there, man. Yeah, doing an excellent job. You're doing a very excellent job. It's 33 degrees here. It's 33 Fahrenheit here in the Pocono Mountains today, which is, fairly normal for this time of the year. We did get some snow a couple days ago. A little bit of it is still on the ground. So, this time of the year, for the snow to start, and not that we look forward to it. And E5OB is up at about 45, 50 a year. What I'd like to do is go around and go to my vertical. I have a photograph R7 vertical. I'd like to give a quick shot and see how it does on this go around then. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Alan. I'll be listening for you.
Okay, C0CQI, KB3OVB. Copy that.
Okay, yeah, it's difficult to say. I think you came up to about 5 and 3 because you have dropped down from the 5 and 6. But you'd have to talk a bit longer for me to give you an absolute comparison between the two antennas. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, basically, one of the sure was getting good here for sure, but yes, we are. And I know that the wire doesn't want to. I think the wire always seems to work better than the vertical for some reason. Plus, the vertical seems a little bit noisier than the G5RB. So that's going to give me a little bit of time there, and hopefully we can get some comparison going here. Back to you there, man.
Yeah, Roger. Well, I've actually got my video camera going or my webcam going, and I'm going to put it on YouTube a bit later, so you'll be able to actually see. If you want to swap back over to if you want to talk again with the vertical, and then swap back over to the wire, I'll keep quiet, and then you can say something, and then when you see the video, you can see exactly for yourself. Go ahead.
Oh boy, you're a high-tech guy, high-tech station there. Okay, well, we'll do that. We are on the vertical right now, which is the R7 push wrap, which I don't use a whole lot. Basically, it was given to me by another ham, so that's why we put it up anyway. Give it a shot. It goes actually down to 40 meters. All right, quickly to the G5RV then. Okay, G0VQY, KB3OVB, right back in your pen. On the old G5RB, the old faithful, I should say. It's done a lot of DX to me over the years here. It's pretty simple antenna, and it does the job. And I don't even need a tuner with it. It do very well from whatever I put through it there, from 80 meters up to 10. So it's a good all-purpose antenna person. Back to you here, Ben.
Yeah, okay, Alan. Well, yeah, that was good. I would say the wire just has the edge on the vertical, but not by far. Just as you were talking on the vertical, you came up to about 5 and 8, and then when you came back on the wire, you just peaked to the 9. So I'll tell you the wire is just outperforming the vertical. But I mean, obviously, it may be different on the receive. You may find that the vertical receives better than the wire. Go ahead.
No, I don't like to see on the vertical.
Oh well, I think it would be actually because it's more omnidirectional, isn't it? You basically got all the noise coming from different directions, where it's not quite the same with the lobes coming off of or coming in from the wire. So, but yeah, it's I've used verticals before and I've found them a bit noisy, and even my Cushcraft, my not Cushcraft, my Hustler. I've got a Hustler, and even that can't outperform my wire on 40 meters. So I actually don't. I think if you're going to use a vertical, it's got to be set up properly in order to get the best out of it. A lot of people simply stick them up and put a few radials down and then wonder why they're not working very well. I mean, a proper vertical has got to be, positioned properly, with the correct radials in the correct sort of pattern in order to get the absolute best out of a vertical. And that's my experience, Alan. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's interesting you should say that because this vertical yard says a quick grab supposedly doesn't require any ground radials, which it, of course, does not have any ground radials. But it's supposed to work just fine without them. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not sure. This is the second quick grab vertical I've played around with. I had an R5 before. And of course, this one has 40 meters on it. The other one didn't. And it performed about the same. They don't claim actually to use any radios with them unless I missed something. I don't know. But I don't worry about it that much because, I got the Trimander over here for 10, 15, and 20. And then the R5 does a good work on the rest of the stuff. So with just the way it goes here at the shack. I'm a little bit getting a little bit tired playing around with antennas. So if I'm 10, 15, or 20, I just feed the old Alpha 87A there and let it do its thing, and we don't have to worry about what was being in the top, the tip top SWRs and all that good stuff. So that usually gets us through. That's the event.
Yeah, QSO Alan. Yeah. No, I believe that the Cushcraft R5 and R7 they use. I think it's called a counterpoise. I believe. I think it's like I've never seen one, but like a sort of a funny looking like a radial coming up that's sort of very thin. But I could be wrong there. But yeah, no, you are right. You are right. I don't think. And I think I spoke to someone once who actually put a radial on an R5, and it actually it degraded the performance. So I think some verticals are made like that, and if you try putting radials on, then you'll just upset the balance of the antenna. I think this is the biggest thing with verticals. Most people who have verticals have them because they haven't got room for another antenna, and of course, if you've got to then start putting out 30 odd foot radials in every direction, you've got to have a quite big garden. So I think you're doing well with that, and the conditions are the conditions are improving because you've just been peaking over the 9 on that last day. But go ahead.
Well, we're back on the D5 RP here. Yeah, you're correct on the Cushcraft vertical here, and the counterpoint is it's got on the top, it's got 4 about midway down, and then long, droopy wire one in the base of it. So I get that with you that it's working. So that's about it on the Cushcraft vertical. Go ahead.
Yeah, Roger. Yeah, well, I think they're made for people who are very limited with space. I've got, like I said, I've got a Hustler, and whereas they will work, they do work without radials, but the performance is rubbish. It's absolutely diabolical. You can hear people, but and I mean, obviously, if the very very strong signal, you think it's working well, but it's when it comes to receiving the really weak signals, you then realise that that's where the radials come into it. There's a guy, I don't know if you've ever spoken to a guy called Lee, G0DBE. Well, I haven't spoken to him for a while, but he used to go on holiday to Guernsey or Jersey every year, like an expedition, like a DX expedition, and he used a vertical. I think it was a Hustler, and he had something like 200 radials that he would lie out. Absolutely unbelievable. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think we want to do that. But, I've heard people going from one of the things with that is for sure. I'm going to see the looking shack there. I just looking at it here on Kilo. That very nice looking shack. Another vertical for people that don't have the real estate to put in some wires. We really don't have that problem. The only one that we really can't put is the 160. Well, I just say can. Like I said, there's a couple turns that have to put the pieces or something. But with those real estate, a vertical is would have to be
Yeah, QSL. No, I think verticals. There's nothing wrong with them. I mean, obviously I've got room for the beam, and I use a wire on 40 meters. So I'm actually going to take my vertical down. I'm gonna. It's at the end of my garden at the moment, and I've got a post that's concreted in the ground. So I'm trying to decide what else to put on it. I was thinking about putting a small vertical for 6 meters down there, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure what to do there, Alan. It's either that or make a small wire dipole for 6 meters, because I quite like 6 meters, but I have got a beam, a 5-element beam for 6 meters, but that would involve taking the big one off the tower, and I don't really want to have to do that because it's a lot of hassle to do that, Alan. I'll put it back over to you. It's pouring with rain here at the moment, pouring with rain. And you did drop down a bit, so I'm not sure if the conditions, what they're doing. Back to you there, KB3OVB from G0VQI.
I don't know. I just never did but maybe one of these days the people that do use this one with cell phone and that's all I have to do is get into operation. One of these days, I don't know when. But just 6 meters later, I can't put here. I have to go over to my icon before you make me get that kind of it. Because again, what just doesn't happen. Anyway, this is a story on the equipment here, which they can do it. I think I'm going to send it back to you and clear it on your final panel. And you make some other contact here. It's absolutely not a pleasure. And when they put contact, they came on 12. And because a lot of people don't use it, and they when I talk to contact, and they not 12, they're like, oh, I don't have 12-meter capability. Maybe I can get it. With the Mount 17 is pretty good, which I have a dedicated and for that also I have a wire that we made up for 17 meters, because 17 been really nice frequency over the last, I don't know,
Yeah, QSL. Yeah, I love 17 meters and 12 meters also. What I like about these walk bands is that there's no contesting on them, so that even though when we have the weekends and love the contesting, at least us guys have got somewhere we can go, and we don't have to bother with all the contesting. I mean, each to their own. But I've never seen the point in contesting. It's in order for you to win a contest, you got to sit there for 24 hours, really. And I just haven't got the energy or the time to be able to do that. So I've never done it. So it's not. That's why I've always made sure my beam covers these two bands, so I can come here and carry on doing what I love the most, which is having a good old rag chew. That's what it's all about for me, there, Alan. It's a good old rag chew, good chat. All right, mate. Well, many thanks for the call, and we'll no doubt we'll bump into you again very soon. So if you hear me on, please give me a call anytime you hear me. KB3OVB from G0VQI.
Right now, and I had talked to you before, so hopefully we'll continue on our location. One thing, I use the Tuesdays app every day. By the way, it's the content, so again, content, and I'm not a content store. Just content is going on right now, so it's a lot more content. It's a great day. You can tell some of that makeup is really bad.
Your frequency's occupied.
KB3OVB. Boy, band is really crowded today.
Okay, Alan, no problem. Alan, is your email on QRZ, over?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, Alan, well, what I'll do is I'll stop